All right. So the news broke out. If you haven't heard already, the mainstream media is reporting that Joey DeBecco knocked out AJ 8 days prior to the fight. All right. These guys were sparring. Apparently, he knocked out AJ and concussed him. This is the reason why AJ's father lunged at Eddie Hearn in the ring after the fight was over. All right. Allegedly, Eddie Hearn knew of this and let the fight continue. So this is the reason why AJ's father was so upset with Eddie. Okay. Now, I did a video yesterday that I had to scrap, but basically I was responding to the conspiracy theorists. There's a lot of people conspiring on why AJ lost his fight. What happened before the fight that led to AJ's poor performance against Andy Ruiz? Okay. Um, the reason why I got rid of the video is because once I finished that video, all of these reports started coming out. All right. So there was no reason to really address these conspiracy theories. All right. I heard that AJ took a dive. I've heard that AJ got drugged before the fight. Dillian White has come out and said that the reason why AJ looked so poor is because he wasn't on his PEDs. Okay. And I've heard a few people say that he was concussed before the fight. And they were basing that off the marks on AJ's face that I also had saw. I did see the Radio Raheem interview where he was asked about the marks on his face. I seen all of this before the fight, and I thought to myself, maybe something happened in sparring. I'm surprised that he's having sparring so close to the fight still. Okay, especially that kind of sparring where he's getting marks on his face like that. Um, I questioned all of those things, but I didn't really look too deep into it. You know, um, and that's the question that I have. For the people that's blaming Eddie, and they're basically saying that the reason why AJ lost this fight is because he had a concussion. First of all, even though the mainstream media is reporting it right now, it doesn't mean that it's fact neither. All right. Maybe he did get knocked out in sparring. Maybe mentally he wasn't all the way there going into the fight. If he was concussed, I think the training camp and the people that were in the gym that day are to blame for letting the fight continue if he was really hurt that bad. Okay? If he's fighting Andy Ruiz in heavyweight while having a concussion, you blame the trainer. Okay? You blame his camp. You don't blame his promoter. That's just the way I see it. That's if this is even true. All right? I think there's some kind of truth to it. I think he was sparring right before the fight. But if Joey DeBecco actually knocked out AJ, that's a problem. All right? That's a problem. I know anything can happen in sparring, but someone on that level shouldn't be knocking out AJ. Okay? And that was my main point in the video I did yesterday. I was pointing out AJ's flaws. And I was basically saying in that video, AJ has flaws. Andy Ruiz capitalized on his flaws in that fight. He fought the man with no fear. Okay? He fought him with no fear. What I saw was AJ knock down Ruiz. AJ wanted to get him out of there. He started to brawl. He was slugging it out. He was throwing a flurry of big power shots, hooking, not connecting on these hooks. Ruiz threw a left hook himself, landed right on the temple of AJ. AJ had unsteady legs and went down, and the rest was history. We saw what happened in the rest of the fight. It was over. Okay? I, I don't want to take away any credit from Andy Ruiz. What I saw was AJ getting beaten by a fighter that was the better man that night. That's it. Nothing more. Okay? I even went back. I watched the Povetkin fight. I watched the Dillian White second round. Okay? First and second round. I watched the fight between Klitschko and AJ again. The fifth and sixth rounds. All right? I saw things. I saw holes and flaws in his game in those fights, similar to the flaws I saw in this fight. You have to factor in that Andy Ruiz is a shorter fighter that is, for today heavyweight standards, 6'2" is short. It just is. By today's standards, he's short, a short guy that is used to fighting taller fighters. Okay? I seen some Povetkin in there. Povetkin was able to get in, right? Land big shots. Throw his right hand over the jab. Follow it up with a left hook. I seen Povetkin do these things, but what I didn't see is pressure. I didn't see Povetkin trying to get AJ out of there. I seen him landing one or maybe two shot combinations and back off. The fight remained in the center of the ring. Joshua was never on his back foot. I didn't see that same kind of pressure. I seen AJ relax. I seen Klitschko hurt AJ and back off him. I seen Dillian White hurt AJ and eventually backed off of him. Andy Ruiz fought like a man that had nothing to lose. I mean, he really didn't have much to lose. You're a replacement fighter, okay? You're a huge underdog. Why not go for the kill? That's exactly what he did. He had the faster hands. AJ couldn't deal with it. AJ made a mistake. All right? After knocking out, did AJ look concussed when he threw that combination and dropped Andy Ruiz? He didn't look concussed to me in that point. He might have looked a little gassed, but maybe it was the pressure. Maybe he was uncomfortable with Andy Ruiz and his pressure. No one ever really forced. The only pressure that I ever really seen with AJ was Vladimir Klitschko. All right? But it was a lot of jab probing in that fight. It wasn't really hard shots. You know? It wasn't until like maybe the third or fourth round where Klitschko landed like a real hard right hand. I think it was round 4. I believe that Klitschko really started to push the pressure a little harder. All right? But then we saw what happened in the 5th round when AJ just went for the kill and almost stopped Vladimir Klitschko. But he got tired. He got tired in several fights already. So, if he was truly concussed in this fight, it is what it is. He lost the fight. He's going to fight him in a rematch. Let him prove himself in a rematch. Let it go. He lost the fight. I was going to make a video talking about Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. Not expecting Joshua to lose this fight. They have holes in their game. Joshua always had holes in his game. He's a little stiff up top. He has stamina issues. Okay? He has other flaws. Wilder has flaws too. All right? Tyson Fury exposed a lot of his flaws. Some of his flaws were there before the fight, but he kept winning. Same with AJ. They both go hand in hand. AJ and Wilder has flaws, but because they kept winning, it was okay. Fury, it wasn't until Tyson Fury where we saw a fighter really expose Wilder's flaws. That's why it was a draw. I think Wilder lost the fight. Most people believe that Wilder lost the fight. And this is why Wilder came out and preparing for Brazil. What did he say? I'm going to go back to basics. He would have never said that if he dominated Tyson Fury. Okay? But because most people felt he lost the fight, he felt like he needed to change some things. Now, we don't know what's changed with Wilder because his last fight only lasted 1 round. But Joshua has been winning with these same flaws. It's time to fix these issues you have. You're still young. You still have plenty of time. Maybe bring somebody new into the camp. I'm not saying he needs to get rid of the people in his camp, but maybe bring someone new. You know, some of the people in the comments, some of my personal friends, we've had discussions on this. You know, maybe bring an American trainer just to add some more things to your game. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. But these flaws have been proven and exposed already in your other fights. It's just that you won. You showed grit. You got knocked down. You've been hurt. And you were able to pull off the win. You couldn't do it this time because Andy Ruiz, outside of the 4th round, kept bringing that pressure. You didn't have an opportunity to catch your second win like you did against Klitschko. These guys that you fought before just never, they stepped off the gas, man, and that's it. So, listen, let's end what Ben Davison tweets and what Chisora was saying after the fight and Joshua's dad reaction. I mean, his dad is his father. It's his father. Emotions are flaring. You know, it is what it is. He's pissed off his son lost his first fight in a huge upset. Upset of the decade. Like, it's only normal for people to be emotional. But what if Anthony Joshua loses the rematch? Now what? Does all of this really matter? What happened in sparring? Does it really matter? Maybe the guy was just nervous. Maybe he was knocked down in a fight and lost some confidence. Maybe it was that. Maybe Andy Ruiz just beat him fair and square. Let's stop drawing all of these other conclusions. Joshua now has an opportunity to rest up, take a few months off, you know, maybe change some things because something needs to change. I think if he goes in this same rematch with the same game plan, whether he's concussed or whether he lost in sparring, if he goes in there with the same exact game plan, there's a huge chance that he loses the rematch. In my opinion, okay? Andy Ruiz has different dimensions from a lot of the fighters that he's faced. All right? Let's just say it is what it is. He lost the fight. Until we see the rematch, let's just say he lost the fight. Let's not add any more pressure. Andy Ruiz is a top 3 heavyweight right now. It is what it is. AJ, he got knocked off. He lost the fight. He got his ass kicked. It's happened to Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, all kind of fighters. It happens. It happens to all of the best fighters. Like, if you go all the way back in heavyweight history, it goes back, man. People lose upsets, man. Larry Holmes, like, it is what it is, man. Let it go. This is not the first time something like this happened. He lost, and I'm actually glad he lost. Because now I want to see how he's going to improve. You needed a reality check, bro. You had the same flaws, and you didn't work on them, and someone finally exposed you. Okay? I was upset the night of the fight. Of course, I was upset that Joshua lost. I didn't want any of these guys to lose. I didn't want him or Wilder to lose because I wanted them to fight each other without having any losses. They made it this far being undefeated. So this is why I've been upset on why the fight didn't take place, because how many videos have I said now? One of these fighters are going to lose. Wilder almost lost against Fury, and Joshua just lost over the weekend. So, stuff like this happens in boxing. It is what it is. How many upsets we got this year already? We got a bunch of them, all right? This is the biggest one, but like, come on, let's not make it seem like Joshua was so good to a point where there's no way he could have lost to Ruiz. I mean, I was one of the few channels that actually said, I think the fight is going to go the distance. I mean, I was wrong, but most people thought AJ was just going to just destroy this dude. You know? And don't take away Andy Ruiz credit like that, man. I think that's the worst part about it all. People are giving Andy no reason, Andy Ruiz no credit here. I already made a post about Stephen A. Smith's comments about him being butterbean and shit. Very, very disrespectful. I mean, this guy, you're gonna have to interview this guy one day. It doesn't matter what he looks like. It's more embarrassing for AJ to lose to someone that looks like that. So if anybody should be shameful, it should be AJ. You're the bigger, stronger guy. You're the most, you're the bodybuilder guy. You lost to a little chubby guy, a short chubby guy. But the chubby guy got skills. He got talent. Why would you disrespect him and compare him to Butterbean? Come on, man. Shit like that. So I think it's just as bad by not giving Andy Ruiz his credit. A lot of the diehard AJ fans, to not give Andy his credit is wrong. It's just as wrong. It's no different from what Stephen A. Smith says. It's just as wrong. Because the guy got talent, clearly. And if you don't see that, and if you didn't see that before this fight, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe there's something that needs to be fixed in your head. AJ lost the fight. He got his ass kicked. It is what it is. He can bounce back if he chooses to. All right? But I don't know what it is, but something needs to change. Something needs to change in his game going into that rematch. And if you don't want to change it, if you don't want to, I'm not the type that's like, oh, get rid of your whole training camp because of your loss. No, your training camp got you there. All right? They got you there, but maybe you should add someone else there to bring something new to your game. And I think it should be an American trainer. That's just my opinion. You have the John David Jacksons of the world. You have the Jonathan Banks of the world. He's training Triple G now. You have a lot of trainers out there. You have a lot of trainers out there. All right? That can bring something new. All right? But these flaws already been exposed before this fight. All right? I don't know if I said this in my post-fight review of Joshua Povetkin, but I was cringing watching the fight, those first 3 or 4 rounds. I'm watching that fight and I'm saying, oh my God, I think Povetkin, especially the first 2 rounds, I'm like, yo, Povetkin is landing some big shots, man. I don't know how many of these can Joshua take. He took them and he won the fight. Cool. But what Andy Ruiz did, he landed a great left hook and he continued to pressure him. That's what I saw. Give the man his credit, all right? Spoke long enough. We're going to move on from this. This is my last video talking about this stuff. Move on to other boxing. I'm ready to talk about other things now. Unless there's some huge, crazy, dramatic news that I must address regarding the heavyweights, I'm ready to move on. All right. So y'all have a good day. Peace.